Hello, everyone! Surprise, surprise! It's still Happy Saturday. I was gonna try to pretend that this was stock, but y'all know I filmed like 6 hours ago. I just changed my shirt and put a hat on. So I wanted to check in right now because our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, posted something about going into treatment on Monday. So it was a very contrite, relatively predictable video for her. It's kind of part of her cycle of things. So I wanted to kind of go over some of the highlights of it and just weigh in on a few thoughts that I had about it too. So what I had missed from the last time I had checked in was a 3 hour live stream, a trip to Five Guys, and a taste test of McDonald's fish and chips. So, yeah. So apparently Monday she's going to go in for some eating disorder treatment. Now, if I'm stitching things together correctly, when she went to the psyche merge, that fast-tracked her into getting some, I guess, outpatient treatment. And that outpatient treatment was supposed to be maybe like a week or two away from that appointment. 2 weeks, I think, which would work out right. So back in my head, I'm thinking, was she knowing treatment was going to start, just getting it in real good? Because once treatment starts, you're accountable to more than just, well, yourself, if you're accountable to yourself at all. I've done stuff like that. I remember one time I knew I was going to rehab. First time I went to rehab, it was on a Thursday, and I found out on Saturday that I was going to go. And I went out and I was like, great, I can be shit-faced all the way up until Thursday. I lasted about 2 days before I got really drunk, said something stupid, and ended up in an involuntary commitment in a psych ward. So, I don't think that would happen to her. But again, well, eating did kind of put her in the psych hospital almost. So, or at least for an evaluation. So I'm wondering if somewhere in the back of her head that might not have been kicking in, thinking, okay, this will be the cutoff date and I'll binge all the way up until then. Possible? I don't know. I had my doubts she would even go. And now I still have doubts that when she goes, she's going to stay. And she's given a lot of evidence that she doesn't stick to stuff. So we'll see. We'll see. Also saying that there will be no more mukbangs on the channel. Uh-huh. We've heard this before. She said this time, though, that some of her family um, that she had discussions with said that they were concerned, and they actually, I think the word she used was hate, exactly, the mukbangs. I don't know, maybe they have all along. Maybe this is a new sort of thing. Maybe they had a little intervention, and they sat down and said, this is embarrassing, and this is disgusting, and you're killing yourself, and it's not worth the trade-off. Who knows? Who knows? So the new videos are going to have to be not mukbangs and associated with healthy eating if they're associated with food at all. I have concerns about her associating a video with eating at all. But again, her channel, her content, not mine. Anything that would aid her in this alleged recovery journey that's going to be starting, I'm all for. Now, she might lose, I don't know how many feeders. I can't believe feeders are a thing. But I mean, I just think it's gross. But I have to take into account I'm gay. There's like large chunks of the population that think that the fact that I exist in the free world is disgusting. So I mean, it's all with a grain of salt, I know. But I don't know. So I don't know how many of her subscribers are feeders. And if they went away, I don't know what kind of money she would lose. And given the fact that she's trying treatment versus the money, what she's going to weigh back and forth, time has shown that viewership and whatever else comes with it has seemed to be more important, or whatever her health has been reprioritized as lower than many other things. So, let's see here. God. She did recognize that she was diagnosed with binge eating disorder, but then said she didn't think of her eating as disordered eating. Eating disordered eating. I know, I'm splitting hairs with semantics. I don't want to be one of those people that finds something wrong with every single solitary thing she says. Not everything that comes out of her mouth is absolute crap. She pronounced Putin right, as far as I know. I don't even think I'm pronouncing it right, but I know it sounded right coming out of her. So, she said that now that she's come off the bender of binging, she doesn't like food. She thinks she hates food. She doesn't want to eat, and that's disordered eating too. I've come off benders, definitely. Side note, I don't mean to exactly parallel my addictive behavior with her allegedly, I'm observing her behavior. But in trying to compare rather than contrast, to try to understand rather than, point fingers at her. I'm trying to see if there's any kind of common ground. It makes her a little more human, to me. It makes me have some level of compassion. I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Sucker, right here. But I'd be a terrible enabler. I would. But at the same time, if she's feeling how I felt and still behaving like this, she feels like shit, even though she's treating other people like shit too. So it's a lonely place to be in. So if that's how she feels, I feel for her. If she thinks she's a puppet master, she can go fuck herself. So, let's see, going forward. She did acknowledge that the criticism she gets from people help. I'm wondering if she saw my video, where maybe it says sometimes your haters have a point. I'm sure I didn't invent that. So I probably heard it somewhere, but it was a great little nugget of knowledge. And I'm glad that she either came to that on her own or heard it somewhere. Because I believe that it's true. I think it's true for me. I think it's true for all of us. Sometimes people with rotten attitudes have good points. Sometimes people who are just telling us the truth about ourselves in a stern way. And I think that's probably a lot of what she gets on her channel. She misconstrues things that are hateful with things that are tough love. And she gets some hateful stuff that's just not cool. But I've read comments when they haven't been disabled. And a lot of them are hateful, but a lot of them are just saying, be consistent, do this, do that. Why don't you try this? You're doing okay, but why don't you try doing something else? And anything that didn't agree in that moment with what she thought was right, which changes often, she perceived as hate. So it all blended together into don't tell me how to live my life, kind of. So, oh dear woman. She said her treatment will be personal, and she doesn't really want to talk about it. I don't believe that for a second, because if that's what's going on in her life, she's going to vlog about it. And she said before that she didn't want to put any of her weight loss stuff on YouTube, and then she did, and then stopped and took it back. Unless she leaves her comments like permanently disabled, I don't think she's going to stick to what she says she's going to talk about and not talk about, because the feedback kind of dictates which way she's going to go, I think. So, and to an extent, I think a lot of us do that. Some of us are like really true to form. And some of us add new things. Doing review videos and are something kind of new that I've been doing. So I can appreciate mixing it up and trying something different. But then staying true to some original content too. So, but she's kind of cycled through the same new content, old content, eat a lot on camera, make a weight loss video, go on some ridiculous thing like that grape lemon thing. Anybody remember that? That was the dumbest thing I think I had ever seen. And she even the fact that she did it for 2 days, I was impressed, because I wouldn't have lasted one. But when you have a bad relationship with food and with yourself, you'll do all sorts of dumb stuff in and around food too. She had asked for patience. Biggest thing she did in this video that I thought was helpful. Biggest thing. She admitted her own arrogance. I almost wept when she admitted her own arrogance, and she admitted it about doing the mukbangs and defending it so vehemently, defending the thing vehemently that was hurting her. And in hindsight, she's now saying left her feeling empty. It wasn't doing for her what it did before. There's like a thing with tolerance that you build up, like with drugs and other things like that. You do it to get yourself high, and it wasn't getting her high anymore. Binging wasn't getting her off. Your stomach can only hold so much, and I know there's folks who have binge eating disorder, and to a degree I probably participated in the same kind of activity. It's not bulimia exactly, but you will eat until your body is so full that it makes you throw up. And then if you've ever eaten right after, you understand the mad, bad, fucked up relationship with food that a person can have. And it sounds like she's got that going on to me. The fact that I relate to her, even though I'm not a doctor or professional or anything like that, when I see that in her and I see it in me, and I've been diagnosed and she's been diagnosed, it's not hard to draw lines of similarity. So what does all this mean? She's very contrite. She's getting into treatment. She's tailoring the content of her channel. She's had family involved. She says she, at this point, is so sick of doing mukbangs that she doesn't want to eat. And I say this with all the love and compassion that I have for another person, any other human being. All of what she said is probably 100% bullshit. And I can tell you why. I was sick and off and on for like 7 years. I'm not her, we're two different people, but I knew how to say all the right things too. And when this comes in real handy, saying all the right things, is when you're in treatment and want to get out. And you learn how to tell people exactly what they want to hear. You know, when they ask you, are you ready to leave treatment? You don't say, yes, I'm ready, life beckons. You always have to give them a little, well, I'm a little nervous about it, but I think I have the tools I learned and I'm ready to get out in the world and I just need a little bit of patience. You know, you don't go way overboard with it. You do a soft sell on self-esteem for that kind of thing. Saying all the right stuff is how you win your therapist over, and then you leave the session and you feel great because they approved of what you said, even though what you said was all scripted and it wasn't true. It's how you think you impress people. It seems the fact that you think you're being sincere makes you feel better, but people can sniff it out. And especially when there's like a well-documented, for God's sake, there's video upon video of this kind of thing happening over and over again. So I'll say that. I think everything she said could be complete bullshit. And looking out into comment sections across the universe, I think most people are inclined to agree with that. The tiny bit of hope I still have, and I catch comments for not calling Chantal a lost cause. And I'll take those comments, because here's why. I believe in second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth chances. She's probably on her 850,000th chance. But by the time I started getting better, there was no reason to believe that that time was going to be the time that things started to kick in and things started to make sense. It was a combination of I was interested in getting better, I was willing to do at least a little something, and the right treatment was available at the same time. There was nothing super magical about it. It was just those things happened to line up at once. You can call that fate or divine guidance or a good mixture of social services functioning at the county level, whatever you want to attribute it to. And that's when things started to click for me. So I false started on getting better, I don't know how many times. So one of these times may be the time for her. It could be. It might be if she does what needs to be done. But like everybody else, even though I hope the best for her, and I will keep an eye on this, and wouldn't it be a wonderful turnaround story if she got better? Only Amber Lynn's would be bigger. No pun. Is that going to happen? Not in the manner that's going to make her, a guest star on any talk show, probably. But, her life could be a little better, at least. Something. So I had that much hope, and I have like that much now. And it's not so much hope in Chantal or faith in Chantal. It's belief in hope, period. That nobody is an entirely lost cause. So I'm not so much defending her as I'm defending, nobody is to be completely thrown away. I've seen sicker people than Chantal get better. So that's what I'm holding on to for this. So thank you all for watching. Please subscribe. Feel free to give a thumbs up. You can follow Mark and I on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Make sure to hit the bell to get the alerts so you know when a new video is coming. We usually do one a day, but today there was a bonus one. Like I said, I filmed this 6 hours ago. I just changed my shirt to make it look like something different. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with y'all soon. Bye.